So, if someone asked what's the most important thing to you, or what's the most important thing in your life, what would you say? The first thing that may come to mind would be family or friends, or maybe something materialistic like a car or, your house. But the most important thing is your health. Without life, you can't have any of those things. So that's why I chose to dedicate my time and my life to healthcare, and that's the major that I chose, radiology. So let's say that someone gets in a bad car accident. What's the first thing they would do at the hospital? If they're not too bad, they'll probably get their blood, do all that, but then they'll take them to get an X-ray to see like if they have any broken bones, things like that. And that's what medical imaging is, and that's what I'll be talking to you about today. So the definition of medical imaging is the process of creating visual presentations of the inside of our bodies, as well as the functions of some organs and tissue in order to make a medical analysis. So basically, what that means is that medical imaging takes a picture of the inside of your body. So your bones, your tissues, your veins, if there's a blockage of any sort, if you have a broken bone, it'll take a picture of that and tell you how well everything's functioning, so the doctor can make a conclusion or an analysis. Now there are many different types of medical imaging. We have X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, and I'll be talking to you about some of those today and why they're so important. So the first one is an ultrasound. Ultrasounds are the least invasive. They're the most safe because they don't use radiation. So let's say if a woman is pregnant, she goes to get an ultrasound done to see the baby, and it'll show the baby's brain, it'll show the heart, if it has the right number of chambers, things like that. So that's one of the most least invasive kinds. The next kind is a X-ray. Now X-rays has radiation in it, so you don't want to do too many of those. So for example, if you go to the hospital, you get an X-ray, and then you go to the doctors, they'll be like, well, let's get the results from the hospital because we don't want to expose you to radiation again because it's harmful. But it's okay because they're important. So what X-rays do is they pretty much take a basic picture of the bones and the organs. Now let's say that they do an X-ray and they see something on there and they want to go in more depth. What they'll do next is a CT scan. A CT scan is a 360-degree angle of your bones and stuff. So if the X-ray wasn't enough, they'll do a CT scan, and that will show everything in more depth. It'll be more detailed because it'll show tissue, blood vessels, things like that. Now, if they needed an even more detailed thing, they'll probably do an MRI. An MRI it's safe as in it doesn't have radiation. So what MRIs use is it's a strong magnet. So the only problem with this is that you can't wear any metal. So that's why, let's say you're having an MRI, you go to the doctors, they'll say if you have any jewelry, take it off. If you have a hip replacement with some metal in your body, you can't get an MRI, which is unfortunate because of how important they are. So let's say you did walk into an MRI with your earring on. That earring would rip right off, and obviously you'll be injured, but those are very detailed. So I guess for the people that have metal in their body, it's pretty unfortunate because of how important these imaging tools are. According to an article that I read from North Central Surgical Center, these imaging tools can diagnose many health issues. They can diagnose things like breast cancer, colon cancer, other types of cancers, or something as simple as a bone fracture, or bone, something with your bones. They can see if you have any blockages in your veins. It can prevent something really bad from happening. For example, I had a family friend who had some crazy symptoms, and he fell to the ground. They rushed him to the hospital, they did a CT scan, and they found out that he had a blockage in his heart. So what they did the CT scan, and they removed the blockage, and he was fine. So let's say they do the CT scan and didn't remove that blockage, who knows what could have happened to him. He could have had a heart attack, or even worse, something could have happened, you know? So that's why these things are very, very important in our life. Me personally, I went through things with my heart, and they did a CT scan and an x-ray, and after doing that, they were all clear. So that gave me the peace of mind knowing that I have nothing wrong with me. My heart is fine. So not only does it prevent something physical happening, but it gives you the peace of mind that, yes, I'm okay. So you can see why these machines are extremely important. I didn't go over every type of machine that there is, but if there's one thing that's going to be important for the rest of our lives and our children's lives and their children's lives, it's, you know, making sure that our physical and mental health are okay. I don't know what the medical advancement is going to be in 100 years, but I do know that being able to see the inside of our bodies, it's always going to be important to prevent something from happening or to fix something that's already happening to you. Thank you.